In a statement from the White House, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says the review affirms that no classified information was leaked and that operational security was not compromised. She went on to say the president stands with Secretary Hegseth. Let's bring in former Chief Pentagon spokesperson Chirs Meagher. Chris, you served under the Biden administration. I want to ask from your perspective how serious these violations are.
They're extremely serious. The whole point of classifying information is to keep our troops safe. It's not because we have a secret we want to hide. It's not because we don't want to tell anybody about it. It's because the operations that we're talking about here are extremely dangerous and putting our United States troops in harm's way. As he was texting all of this stuff or putting all of this stuff out on Signal, we still had American pilots in airspace where they could have been shot down. So there's an inherent danger to what the United States military does every day. They need to be able to rely on the commander in chief, on the secretary of defense to have their back. And by putting this information out in an unclassified space, he put their lives at risk.
Chris, there's still the question of whether the secretary declassified the information when he put it in the Signal chat. And it's unclear if this report will dive into that or still leave that as an open-ended question because we're still waiting on getting our hands on a version. Right now, CBS News has talked to sources about the report's findings. Is that to you a crucial part, whether or not the secretary did, in fact, declassify these details?
I just think it's preposterous to think that an operation that is still underway, that you could declassify the contents and the information and the substance of what that operation entails. You can't declassify that in the moment. Yes, the Secretary of Defense has the power to declassify information. If he did declassify this, he'd be stupid because, again, this is about keeping our troops safe. There were American pilots in the air conducting these operations as these Signal chats were active. So if he did that, that might say even more about Pete Hegseth's incompetence than it does that he declassified it in the first place.
What, in your mind, does accountability look like?
I mean, I think as soon as Pete Hegseth was nominated for Secretary of Defense, many people, Democrats and Republicans alike, knew that he was unqualified and incompetent to hold such an important, powerful position where you're making life and death decisions each and every day. Basically, every day since then, Pete Hegseth has proven that out. He doesn't know how to run this department. He hasn't shown that he has the troops' backs. And that's what this is all about. You know, he likes to talk about the warrior ethos and rules of engagement in combat and what a warrior is and what they're about. But in addition to the violence that he talks about a warrior having, it's also about discipline, responsibility, moral authority, upholding our nation's values. And he has shown time and time again that he doesn't share those values and that he is incompetent to run the Department of Defense. So I think he needs to step down. I hope to hear Republicans standing alongside Democrats calling for that.
Chirs Meagher, thank you.